Okay, how's everyone doing? So let's go ahead and get started here. What I want to chat about today is building lead lists, because it's very important you understand that. Hold on one second. You guys see my screen, correct? Just raise your hand if you see my screen. Okay, amazing. Okay, guys. So today, anyway, so we're going to get into today a few things regarding how to go about getting your leads coming in for the cheapest possible cost. This is probably the cheapest strategy you could deploy to get your, and like with high quality leads and pretty predictable business strategy. So we'll kind of go over this right now. So what we're going to go over today is how to get an SDR. And then once you have an SDR, how to couple that SDR with a lead list, cold lead list, how to add those two together so that your SDR is calling your cold lead list. And then after you have that, after they're calling that, what's happening is that SDR is going to set appointment with you. So that SDR, sales development representative, basically appointment setter / cold caller, will cold call the lead list for you and will set appointments with you and potential clients. So it doesn't matter what kind of business you're running, whether you're in the mortgage space, whether you're doing something along the lines of any kind of service businesses, eyelashes, real estate agents, like, founders, right? So it really is the cheapest strategy, because what you're looking at here is about $300 to $600. And this is wage, right? So this isn't like ad spend. You're not necessarily spending on ads here or anything like that. You're paying this money to pay off the appointments, okay? So that they can, survive and live and thrive and do well. And remember, when I say 300 to 600 bucks, I mean 300 to 600 bucks a month. Okay. So, and what that's getting you is 40 hours a week full time. Okay, so full-time work. And imagine if you had someone right now in your business, doesn't matter what your business is, cold calling 100 to 150 times a day. So we'll do 100 to 150 cold calls daily. Okay, imagine you had someone in your business effectively calling that many times for 40 hours a week, all day, full time. And you now have a process whereby there's new appointments getting called from this lead list here, and being, you have new appointments on your calendar. So you'll have tons of appointments, just like us. We have a pretty big company calendar, lots of appointments every single day. So we'll kind of show you some of those here. What else we got here? So lots of appointments pretty much every day. There's a few more. So yeah, effectively, like we got, and this is just today, right? So this is yesterday, right? This is the day before. This is the day before that. This is the day before that. This is the weekend, right? So we're booking appointments every single day, dealing with hundreds of people every single day, minus the weekends. And the way we do it is by deploying this exact strategy mixed with a few other strategies. This is the best way to start because it's low cost and it's a fixed cost. You're not going to have to really, how much you're paying every month. It's not like it's going to randomly change or increase or anything like that later on. So that's the nice part about it. And then the other thing is that, when it comes to the cold list here, so how much are you paying here? Well, there's a few ways to do this. You could hire a data miner and pay that person 100 to 200 bucks a month to build you lists manually. That's one way. The other way, and more affordable way, is using a repository. So what I mean by repository is you can go to this website, so d7leadfinder.com. You guys should write this down. So this is effectively a website. D is in Dinos, number 7, and then leadfinder.com. How this works, and I'll log in to kind of show you, is you basically go in. I don't have an active plan right now, but this would be the prices. I use another software, which I'll go over in a minute, called Apollo. But basically all you would need is this one, the $32. So that's the way to get started. So all you would need is 32 bucks a month. And what that allows you to do is download lead lists pretty frequently, like you'd be able to get enough lead lists right from here. So you can do 10 searches a day, 3,500 daily leads. So every day you can pull 3,500 leads from this tool. And to kind of show, I want to see if I could show you how this works. So you go to the, they're going to force me to sign up for a plan, so I'm not going to do it now, but you just go to lead search and you would just type in, you know, chiropractors, or you type in, let's just say realtors, or you type in, let's just say whatever, and you'll get a lead list for whatever you search in here. And you'll be able to export that lead list. And then your SDR can start calling that lead list from your CRM. So get the lead list, add it to CRM, okay? And then it, you know, add it to a CRM. And so our CRM, we're using Close.io. This is our CRM. So we have like, you know, different processes and whatnot. We have our fresh leads list, and this is where all the new leads would come in, and all the cold callers just call from this list, right? So you don't have to have Close.io. You can use any kind of CRM you want. Like there's Pipedrive, HubSpot, there's a lot of options, but ultimately what needs to happen is you're paying this here to get, and you're downloading lead lists at a very, very cheap rate. And then you're uploading that lead list to your CRM. There's a lot of ways to do that. You just go here, import leads, right? Upload a CSV, and then you would just connect to CSV and start uploading leads. Okay, that's how that would normally work. Every CRM is very similar. So like if you're not using close.com like me, that's okay. There's a lot of other CRMs and you'll be able to upload leads. And that's it. They set the appointments for you. How do they set the appointments for you? You got to get Calendly. So Calendly is the tool we use to actually go about setting appointments. So you know how we have all these appointments here? So to actually set these appointments, we do it via Calendly. Okay. And so I have a bunch of teammates on Calendly that use it, that have their own meeting types. And you just have your SDR. Like for example, here's my meeting type. So I'll show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like. When you create your Calendly account, you'll have a meeting scheduler just like this. And this is integrated with your Google account. So anyone who books via here will automatically appear as an appointment, not only on your calendar, but also on the client's calendar. So that's very imperative, very important. Let's just say that I go Thursday at 12:30, I book that in, fill these details out, and schedule the event. That is what your SDR will do for you, okay? They will effectively book it via Calendly, appointments set with you via Calendly, right? So now let's talk about how much that's going to cost. Calendly shouldn't cost you too much. Should be maximum $20 a month, depending on if you're just by yourself, it's $20 a month. If you have a bigger team, like I'm paying like $250 a month, I think, for Calendly. But there's a lot of other reasons why you need this. It'll streamline pretty much everything you're doing from a appointment setting perspective. And now what's crazy is, look, there's no ad spend needed. You're not spending $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month in ad spend. You're not getting any or other software. So all you need is your CRM. You need Calendly. You need D7 Lead Finder or Apollo, which is another, it's another variation of getting lead lists, right? So we were talking about how to get lead lists. So Apollo is a great one for getting lead lists as well. You can choose which one you want, D7 Lead Finder or Apollo, but either way, we go here. It's a very cheap cost. Even under Apollo, you just get the basic at $49. So that'd be $32 a month for D7 Lead Finder, or it would be $49 a month for Apollo on the earliest sort of plan. And that's it. You get, like, that's all you're paying. So let's calculate the totals here. It's effectively going to be on the low end, $300 a month for the setter, plus let's just say on the low end, $32 a month for D7 Lead Finder, plus $20 a month for Calendly. Okay. Now Calendly also starts free, so you really, it's not that, and I'll put the links below so that you guys can actually go and access these tools. But ultimately, yeah, so you're just be looking at a total of like $352 a month. And that's investing in you. Don't think this is a money getting spent on like a car or like a Gucci bag or like some waste of time. This is $352 total, okay, spent towards you, your future, and your business. And that's every single month. And the expectation, remember, these guys are calling 100 to 150 cold calls a day. So, you know, they should be able to create a minimum of 5 to 8 appointments per day. Okay. So if they're calling those volumes and you're actually holding them accountable to calling those volumes, you should be able to see how many, right? Like in my CRM, I can go to reporting if you guys use close.com, and I can see, okay, for example, this week, I can go to, let's just say all users. Hold on 1 second. All users, we made a total of 1,384 calls, which is actually very low. So these are all the outbound calls that we dialed this week pretty much, right? Of the 1,384, we created 75 booked appointments. So here it says 75 opportunities. We created 75 booked appointments, okay? And that is the exact strategy that I'm showing you here. Okay, so this stuff works like a charm. You just have to do it. Now let's go over, now that you know what the strategy is, we can go over how to source this person, the SDR, and you now know how to book it in the calendar. It's done via Calendly, and you know that you need a CRM and to add it to that CRM, and I can show you how to add it to that CRM as well. By the way, if there's any questions or concerns, put your questions in the chat. We will get to those questions, not a problem. But yeah, the total cost for this strategy is $352 per month. So that's not a lot for a pretty large gain, in your business. Like imagine if you had 73 additional appointments being booked per day, or sorry, per week. And the week's not even over. We still have today. We're going to book another 25 today. We're going to book another 25 tomorrow, right? So by the end of the week, we're probably going to have 125 appointments booked, right? We can even check last week, right? So if I go last week, look how many we booked last week. 230 appointments on the calendar last week was booked. So using the same system, guys, this is no joke. It's not just for marketing agencies. It's not just for coaches and consultants. It's not for realtors. It's not just for mortgage agents. It's not just for design companies. It's not just for developers. This is for any service business, any business that has a pipeline that needs leads, needs customers, needs deals closed, and needs sales. Okay. This is the lowest cost, easiest strategy to get up and running. And you know what? Once you set this up and it's working like a well-oiled machine, what's crazy is now you actually have the infrastructure to start going and spending on ads, to start going and running cold email blasts, to start going and doing all these amazing marketing strategies like SEO, like Google Ads, YouTube, all these amazing things. But to get there, it's like, how do we get there in the lowest possible way, in the lowest cost way that leads to the highest ROI at the earliest stage? This is that strategy. Don't sleep on it. I know they say, oh, cold calling's dead. Cold calling will never die. Human interaction is the only way. That's the only thing that you have in your control. Okay, which is, and like 1 week you can call these types of people and you have control to upload a new lead list, get a new lead list for doctors the following week, and get a new lead list for realtors the week after, right? Get a new lead list for whatever you want. And you can test many different markets and many different types of industries. So that's why it's very powerful, right? And then you can kind of test to see, okay, does my mortgage service work better with, let's just say, nurses, right? I know this realtor, his name's Kenneth Toppin, great guy. He only works with nurses and he only works in Durham. So he's literally targeting Durham nurses, right? So if he went to Apollo or D7 Lead Finder and searched up nurses in Durham, he would get a list of all their contact details. It's very simple, right? So you can kind of split test to see, okay, which type of client works best for me and works best for my style of doing business, right? And you can test that with this strategy, which is nice, without breaking the bank is the point. You don't need to break the bank. You have unlimited lead lists for $32 a month. You have a fixed cost. You're paying this guy $300 a month or $600 max. This is cheap. You can even start, this starts free. And that's it. You just get it going and that's it. So let's go over how to actually source this person. So the SDR, I like going on this website. So this website here, make sure you write that down. So it's in the URL bar here. And I'll put this below. I'll put the link below as well. But ultimately you go to this website. In this website, you can post any job you want. And this is a very, very specific website for the Philippines. I like to work when it comes to SDRs. I like to work in that channel, in that jurisdiction of the world, because they have really good English. Okay. They're very hard workers, and the currency conversion is very favorable in terms of saving money. And that's why you're able to get this for 300 to 600. Otherwise, you'd have to pay someone here minimum wage, which would cost $2,500 to $3,000 a month, when you can get the same thing done for 300 to 600 bucks a month, right? So it's a completely different thing, overturned on its head. So like, for example, here's some jobs we're hiring for right now. So I'm hiring for a graphic designer, and I have 33 applicants, right? So, you know, you could literally like, look, I could add a job right now, say, who do I need? I want a sales development representative, or not even, make it simple. I want an appointment better. This is what you'd fill. I'm going to zoom in a bit so you guys can see this better. But effectively, you'd have the appointment setter, and then you're looking for full-time. You're looking for, you can get a job description. So here I actually have a job description for appointment setters. Hold on, you can just get one online, like, but here, let me grab mine. Okay, so we have, for example, this would be like a job description, right? So you'd have a job description just like this, talking about what they're going to do. So like what they're going to do all day, cold call. Basically what they're going to do is this, right? So they're going to go ahead and work 40 hours a week, making this many calls per day, booking this many appointments a day. So you can have a nice fancy job description, or you can just go and do it basic and just say, that's what I need, right? But ultimately you paste a job description, you put in the wage. So my desired wage, I want to go on the low end for 300 a month, is what you put in here. Right. And then required proof ID, I put 70 here. Email, put your name. And this is where it gets nice. Okay. So this is where you actually can filter out who's applying and who can come and apply to this job. So primary skill number one, we want to go to English as number one, and speaking needs to be the first skill. They need to be able to speak really good English, number one. Number two, we go over to sales. So there should be some kind of customer support, or in other words, should be some kind of marketing and sales. See, marketing and sales. You can go over here and say telemarketing. Do you see that? So telemarketing is great. That's what you want. Or you can do sales representative. So either sales representative or telemarketing. You get the third skill, and that can be, we can go over to, let's just say customer service. And then we can even do like customer support, right? So you're getting someone here with English speaking skills, telemarketing skills, and customer support skills. And then you can just click done and create the ad. The subscription I'm on only lets me run 3 active job posts at a time. So I'm not going to actually get this one live right now, but that's it. You post it live, you come over to your messages once it's live, and you'll be able to see all the different people applying for your job. For example, this guy's applying for the graphic design position, and he actually has included his portfolio too. So I can click on that, check his portfolio. This is not really my style. I don't really like this, so I wouldn't work with this guy, for example. But you can go through all the inbox and go through each and every single person applying to your jobs, and you can get this person hired for very cheap, this set up very easily, and then have this coming in. Because guys, the ultimate thing we're trying to produce here, just remember, is moolah, is money, right? We're not trying to waste any time here. We're trying to create wealth. We're trying to create money. We're trying to change our lives and those lives of those around us. You know, we're not going to do it just sitting there waiting for things to fall into our lap, right? That's not going to happen. The way you're going to make a change this year in your life, in your business, in your income, is by listening to this stuff. This is no joke. Like, this is, we hit $1 million through this as the starting point. Like, this was our starting point. This is everyone's starting point. This should be how everyone starts their business, with hitting the phones and booking appointments and closing deals. Okay. So that's ultimately what I have for you today, guys. If there's any questions, you can throw that in the chat now, and we can kind of go over any specific questions you have with relation to what I'm saying. If not, just raise your hand if that was valuable to you. And we can end the call early today if there's no questions. But ultimately, yeah, now would be the time. Throw your questions in the chat. Are there any questions that you have with relation to this strategy or anything in particular? If not, just raise your hand and let me know that that was valuable. Good stuff. Good stuff. So Akash, nice. Good to see you, man. CN, nice to see you. Okay, so we got Nietzsche as mortgage agent. How do you look for people? Great question, Nietzsche. And I want to make sure you're set up nicely. So here's what you would do. So remember I said you need a subscription to get the leads, right? Because the only thing that changes here, like if you're a mortgage agent and you're looking to really scale up your mortgage business, there's two ways you can do that. There's two, okay? Only two, in my opinion. You know, everyone else will have a lot of other opinions, but this is my opinion when it comes to the mortgage business. You have your direct to consumer marketing, which is like funding loans for everyday people who want to get into a mortgage, want to refinance their mortgage, they want to consolidate, like they're just end clients, right? You're working with clients that want your services. That's the first way. The second way is you work with real estate agents, right? And Nietzsche, what you would do is you'd create what's called referral partnerships. So imagine you had your SDR, okay, let's call her Sally, for example. Sally was calling 100 to 150 times a day, hitting up realtors, okay? So if you go to D7 Lead Finder, you'd go to lead search and you type in realtors in Toronto or realtors in Ottawa or realtors in Vancouver or realtors wherever you want the realtors. And you'd have your SDR call these realtors every single day, book appointments with you and the realtor to create what's called a tiered commission structure, okay? Sometimes you're not even calling the end client who's doing the loan. You're not calling the end client. You're calling the person that deals with your end client, right? So that's what's interesting about this whole situation. It's like you're able to call partners who work with your ideal clients and then build referral partnerships with those partners so that those realtors are now going to refer those people to you to fund their loans, okay? And how I would structure it if I were you, you'd create a nice script for that. And then what I would say is this. I would say that if you can go ahead and build out a tiered commission structure like this, where, 1 to 5 deals referred equals you pay realtor 10% of your commission, for example. The average mortgage agent makes like 2 to 5K per deal, roughly the average deal in commission. So it depends on how much the loan is, obviously, but you go 1 to 5 deals referred equals you pay the realtor 10%. 6 to 10 deals referred equals you pay the realtor 15%, right? So you see how it's going up. You're paying him more commission if he refers you more deals. The more deals he refers you or she refers you, the more they unlock in terms of the commission rate, right, from you. And remember, this is commission on your commission. So you're still making money in the process. So it would be 11 to 20 deals referred. You pay the realtor, 20% of your commission. You see what I mean? And you can keep going on, give the realtor something to work towards. Now that realtor was going to another mortgage agent anyways. They were going there anyways, and they were like already working with another mortgage agent anyways to fund their loans, but they weren't getting paid. Now they get to work with you and they get paid not only on the real estate deal, but also on the mortgage deal, which is the best of both worlds. You're giving people a financial incentive to proceed with you and to work with you and to build a partnership with you. And what's going to keep that partnership together is not this tiered commission is not what's going to keep him working with you or her working with you. What's going to keep him or her working with you is your ability to work fast, fund the loans, and do a good job, right? This is just an added benefit. This is just what's going to get them to switch their mortgage agent to you. This is the reason why they would switch from existing person that they're dealing with to you, because you're giving them a financial incentive to make that switch, right? Which is ultimately what needs to happen. But once they do make that switch, you now need to have good service. You need to have a really high quality ability to keep them, you know, by doing good, by making sure their clients are taken care of, funding all their loans as needed, right? So that would be the approach. So you'd have your SDR cold call realtors every single day, set you up with appointments with real estate agents. And you take those real estate agents and go through the tiered commission structure that you'll prepare, make a program out of it, make like a nice slide deck, you know, walk the realtor through, you know, here's our program, here's how I do it. I'd love to work with you. If you have any deals you want, real estate deals you need, you know, financing for right now, we can take that on right now and we can have, you know, our first trial deal together. There's lots of ways to do this, Nietzsche, but I would say for you, just the lowest cost, lowest hanging fruit would be to go get realtor lists. And you, like I said, you can do that from d7leadfinder.com, or you can do that from apollo.com, which is the other tool I showed you. You would just type in realtor in the search and then the location you want, and then boom, you have real estate agents from that specific location, which allows you to now have a predictable system bringing in, like I said, tons of leads, right? You can have fresh leads coming in, and then once you have that coming in, you can then do paid advertising leads, right? There's so many ways to go about this growth in your business, but the point of this video is to really show you that the number one strategy here is to start low cost. Okay. And this is what everyone misses out on. They're always after the shiny object. They always want this amazing, new shiny software, new shiny program, new shiny ads. I want to create ads. I want to be like those guys online. I want to be like those big companies. You know, they didn't get there starting with that. You know, they got there with core business foundation of, you know, like cold calls are almost like the pulse in your business. It's the heartbeat, right? Without the cold calls going out, there's no heartbeat. So your business is just going to die. Think about it like that. Okay. So if there's any other questions, go ahead and throw those in the chat. Nietzsche, I hope that helped you. Just raise your hand for me if that actually helped. Okay, fantastic. And Nietzsche, let's get that going, right? Like none of this stuff is outlandish to the point where it's not doable. It's all very doable. So we can get that process started. That's it, guys. So if you found that valuable, I would really appreciate it if you took the time to check out the booking link below where, you know, this style of coaching call was here to help you, you know, create more systematic foundation in your business, allowing you to scale, allowing you to not have to break the bank in order to actually make an income. When I say an income, I mean, you might be a mortgage agent, a realtor, you might be an entrepreneur, you might run a SaaS product, you might be in the chiropractic business. It really doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're a service business and you require to push deals through a pipeline. If your North Star is to push deals through a pipeline and get new leads, turn those leads into contracts and or new deals, and then sell them and get paid, and whether that's real estate, service businesses, painting companies, it doesn't matter. This is the lowest cost approach to getting a large amount of qualified sales opportunities on your calendar pretty predictably, pretty easily, and without, like I said, spending a lot of money, which is ultimately the way to start, I believe, any service business. So, and then look, like, then you get to the ads, right? Then you go ahead and you scale up and you do these amazing things and you try all these other strategies, or you don't try other strategies. All you do is you scale this strategy and you add more SDRs, you add more appointment setters. So instead of having one appointment setter, you might have 5 appointment setters. You might have 10 appointment setters. You might even have 25 appointment setters. Like that's a lot of appointments coming in. You're going to need a lot of lead lists. You're going to need to make sure that you have enough closers as well to close those appointments. So it really matters about the sales process too. But, you know, ultimately when it comes down to it, you know, we do this for a living. So what we do is we help companies effectively not only build their sales teams, starting with offshore talent and local commission only closers, for example. We mix those two together. We build the pipelines out. We integrate the CRM. We create all the automations associated with ensuring that your pipeline's producing results. And that's it. You just have to make sure your sales funnel is operating. And that's what we do. We have a team of 31 people. We're based in Toronto, and we would love to help you. So if you found this valuable for whatever reason, go ahead and click the link below, book a time with myself and or my teammates. We'd be happy to show you exactly what kind of programs we have that not only take this strategy into account, but also a plethora of other strategies that you have no idea that are also extremely low cost, that are also very valuable, that will also help you scale your business. So without further ado, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Cheers.